Hi, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Bruce, and you're listening to episode 70 of the Salty Mother Clutchers podcast. My name is Bruce. I ride a 2007 Sportster 1200 XLC, and I've officially been riding for about 2 years, not counting my childhood.
Oh, I appreciate that so much.
Not counting childhood.
Because most people go, I've been riding for 36 years because I've been riding since I was 2. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't ride from like 7 till you were 32.
Yeah, I mean, but I felt the bug. I felt the call for decades. But it was always, oh, it's too expensive. Oh, I can't afford it. Where am I going to park it? No, maybe some other day.
Yeah.
And then the years just fall away.
Yeah.
So explain that a bit. What do you mean, like, by you got the call? Like, what was it about?
Well, it's like when you have a memory or an experience that you always want to get back to, but it's always like, I can't afford to do that. I can't do that. Mm-hmm. And it's like you're always talking yourself down, or you keep doubting yourself. And then a couple of years ago, due to events in society and work and relationships and just mental health, it's just like, you know what? Just go buy the damn bike. Just go. Just do it.
And so
stop waiting.
Is that the bike that you started on 2 years ago?
Yes.
You've done a lot of shit to that bike, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, I look at pictures of your bike and I'm like, what's stock here? The frame.
Everything was stock when I bought it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, but the first thing I did to it was buy some funky rabbit ear handlebars, which put your hands positions really close, which looks cool going down the road, but it is not cool on tight turns.
Yeah, I know the ones you're talking about. I can picture the bike. Yeah, that seems like that would be really awkward.
Well, it's like when you're going down the road, it feels fine. It feels natural. Your hands are in front of you. So, and when you really get on the, maybe go a little bit above the speed limit, it feels like you're barely holding on. Uh-huh. Like, it's exciting.
So it's more like a no seatbelt sort of thrill then.
Yeah,
it's like removing some safety features.
Yeah, and the extra 6 inches that I put on the front forks to give it a more upward tilt on the front end, and I kept the 10-inch. I didn't keep the 10-inch shocks on the rear, but I have 10-inch shocks now again on the rear. So the front end is much taller than the rear. So it puts you in a leaning back, relaxed position, and it's just nice.
So here's a dorky Sportster question.
Okay.
So I also have the Sportster Custom. So usually they come, I'm not sure if the 2007 did or not, but it comes with like a riser that's already like 6 inches or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you remove that or did you keep that?
Yeah, because I got rid of it because the speedometer, it was the riser speedometer combo.
Yeah. Explain this.
Is that what yours was too?
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, I didn't like it. I was like, I saw someone post a picture where they relocated the speedometer to the side essentially to the side of the gas tank. And I'm like, cool, it's there for legal reasons, but I'm not really watching it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, cool. Also, I hated mine. Like, I hated that combo So what I ended up doing is just I just flipped it upside down.
Bleh.
So like everything on it's upside down. Right means left, left means right. But it looks way better, man. So I was just curious what other folks do because leaving it as was not an option.
Yeah. Another thing I had to get used to when getting on learning to ride as an adult is there's on my model there's no gas needle, and that was something I had to learn is how many miles did I go? I wanted to fill up that tank.
Basically, it's a sporty though, so every time you see a gas station, you should fill up the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got it down to I can go close to 200 miles before it starts sputtering.
Oh,
but
shit.
also because mine's an 07 with an electric fuel injection. I still have the stock plate in the stuff of the speedometer. It has a little gas light that comes on when I'm down to half a gallon.
Right.
Okay.
So that gives me some warning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That seems like pretty high.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's fuel injected. Mine's carbureted, so I get about 120 miles, and that's pretty much I'm dry after that.
But also, I've done the stage 1 to it, and I've put the 2-into-1 pipes on it. So it probably doesn't get the best gas mileage, but I definitely get the bang for my buck.
I think it's pretty good gas mileage.
Yeah.
It sounds comparable to what Aaron gets on the
Shadow.
I was like, what the fuck's your bike?
The dad
again?
bike.
The red one.
That I definitely want to get a Honda CB750. You know, that Honda with like the 4 exhaust pipes coming out. That's what I want my second bike to be.
Yeah, like one of the. Do they have a new one of that? Or are you talking about a vintage one?
I would like to get an older one.
Yeah. Okay.
Because probably cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, because they also made those in like a 900 too, I think.
Well, there's this YouTubers down in near LA called Unaffiliated, and it's a bunch of young guys, and a lot of them they used to have a lot of Hondas. They were like Hondas 750s, and man, they look really cool. I'd like to do that someday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's a good time. The first long ride I did was about 2 months after I picked my bike up from the shop, which was about a month after I certified. Mm-hmm. I took a ride down to San Jose from Portland, and that was a fun time.
And we should say, I don't think we have said on here, but you're in Portland, right?
I live in Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It rains all the damn time.
So you're not riding this time of year then, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, you are?
I picked it up Friday, and I rode Friday, and it was pouring down rain.
Oh shit.
And then Saturday, it was raining again, and I rode then too.
What's the temperature like?
I haven't checked today, but I would say it's probably in the mid 40s right now.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Well, yeah. And with the wind chill, it feels like it's in the 30s.
Okay.
Oh, it's no different from us, I guess, riding this time of year. If we were riding, we still have a shit ton of snow, so it's not really happening for us this time. But like this time last year, we were out.
I think the last 2 years we were out some point like in March, but it was just like sometimes in March you have these like random days that are like weirdly warm. And we're not going really anywhere. We're just like really taking it for a spin and like seeing how the bikes are riding, seeing what we got to do to them. But now it hasn't happened for us yet this year. And there's like kind of a lot of snow now, more than we had in March. So
yeah.
One of the constant struggles, we get sunny days. Like last summer, we had kind of a drought. So we had a lot of sunny days last summer, and it was really cool. But one of the constant struggles I have is waterproofing my goggles. Well, not my goggles, but my glasses, or finding a good anti-fog product.
Yeah, I don't think it exists.
Yeah,
it's like I got some good anti-fog, and that it took care of the fog on that bubble shield on my helmet.
Yeah.
But then it started getting condensation. So it's like,
Right.
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
I'm in the exact same boat. Like I end up with like water of some sort on the inside and outside of my glasses, then on the inside and outside of the visor. And it's like you never know where the fuck it's at, and you wipe everything. And then like I have a windshield on mine half the time when it's especially when we're doing shit riding.
Yeah.
So it's like there's water on the windshield, water on everything. You can't see anything.
And like Friday, the other day when I was riding, I had an open face helmet because it's raining. I don't give a shit. It's cool. I just have because I haven't been on my bike since October after my wreck, and I just wanted to get on it. I don't care if it's raining. Fuck, let's go. And I would come to a stoplight, and my glasses, my safety glass, they would like get condensation and crap in it. I'm like, fuck. But then like 2 blocks down the road, it clears up. So I'm like, okay, fine.
What happened in October?
Like, do we got to talk about October?
It is the stereotypical someone turned left in front of me.
Oh fuck.
Oh my God.
Brutal.
Thankfully, it happened in town and no bones were broken and I wasn't bleeding. So and because this is the American healthcare system and I'm not rich, so I had to walk it off.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
It sucks. It sucked for like 4 or 5 weeks. I was walking with a limp because it messed up my right ankle, it messed up my right knee, and it messed up my right hip. And I'm going to be 42 this year. I don't bounce back. I don't.
Amen.
To this day, when I'm trying to put my boots on, if I turn my leg just the right angle, I get a shot of pain right there on my hip. And it's not the best way to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a knee that keeps giving out, so I'm constantly worried about stopping at a stop sign and my, support just not being there when I put a foot down.
So you had to get the bike fixed up, I take it?
Yeah, thankfully the insurance companies, funny enough, ironically, the insurance companies aren't very good at communicating with each other. They were both communicating to me like I didn't have insurance. I'm like, this is my insurance information. You talk to them. I'm the customer. Just talk to the other insurance people. But thankfully, they found the other driver at fault, and the shop that I take my bike to, they said it's going to be close to $6,000 to get it all fixed.
Oh,
and
shit.
my bike isn't worth $6,000.
Right.
I bought my bike Blue Book for $5,000, and the insurance was going to cover $3,500. And that was the negotiation, because otherwise they said, well, if it takes $6,000 to repair, let's just total it, but we will only cut them a check for $3,500. And the guys at the shop, they found some workarounds. They's like, okay, let's just break it down to what essentially needs to be replaced, like the tire, the forks, the triple trees, the handlebars, other bits and pieces. And the insurance says, okay, yeah, we'll do that. So they did. And then as the months went by, they were like, hey, by the way, your bike's at 25,000 miles. Now would be a good it's already in the shop. It's not the ridings. It's wintertime. Your bike could use some new heads and new rods. And if you're going to go ahead and do rods, you should get adjustable push rods, because in the future, adjustable push rods are better and will save you money in the long run. And if you're already doing that, remember that time you talked about getting a new cam? I'm like, yeah.
Oh, no.
How much is that going to run? They're like $2,000. I'm like, oh. Well, okay. So it's like months and months. I've just been little by little. Okay, I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but the total cost of getting this bike back on the road was over $6,000.
Hey.
Half of that was unnecessary expenses.
Right. Half of that was just treats and treasures.
But I mean, if you're gonna bounce back from an accident, then like that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Come back stronger, right?
Yeah, and it runs strong too. It's got it's nice. It's really nice.
I was just gonna ask what the riding scene is like there. Do you ride with any people, or are you just more of a solo rider, or what?
That was a big
I
sigh.
started out as a solo rider, and then through Instagram, I found this group called Queers on Gears.
Heard of them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple of their posts. I'm like, you know what? That's the kind of people I want to kind of check out, because stereotypically, motorcycle groups or riders, they're all hard. They're like, real man. They're a tough woman. They're very heteronormative mindset, right? And
Yep.
it's like, I'm not heteronormative. And if you get in that group, then there's 9 times out of 10, you're going to find someone who's going to be using a homophobic slur like it's still funny,
Yeah.
like it's the 90s.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, it's not, no, God damn it, cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cringe. So I found this group, and I can't remember. I don't want to shout out their names. I can look up their names real quick, but it's a bunch of group. There's at least 1 or 2 trans persons, and there's been a couple of young queer people in there just starting out their riding life. And I feel like this is a really cool group, because we're not the big macho tough guys. We're cosplaying outlaws,
You said it, not me.
And it's like, no, I it's just people that just want to feel tough.
Yeah.
And I get that. I get it. But it's not about feeling tough. It's about, you're on a fucking bike to have a good time. Who are you trying to impress?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
And why? You have to question that. Why are you trying to impress anybody? You're on a 2-wheel death machine. Like, someone will turn left in front of you and you could just die. So really, who are you trying to impress?
I mean, I feel like that's the question that we've asked the whole time that we've been riding too. It's just like, what? Like, you're kind of on a quest to just like find some cool riders that are just like, they just are cool, or they're dorks, like whatever. They're not out there trying to be macho and like show off and just a bunch of bullshit.
It's you can't take it too seriously,
Right.
Like it's
Exactly.
just it's fucking fun.
It's fun.
Like, that's it.
I think one of the earliest experiences that I try to relate to friends and family that don't ride or don't ride anymore. Back when I learned how to ride dirt bikes as a kid, and then later into my teens and late teens, I used to have what are the name of those dreams where you have control of your dreams?
Lucid?
Those things. And I used to be able to fly.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's like a subconscious Superman shit thing, but it's like but being on the bike is the closest thing to flying. And I think that's the point. We just want to feel that release. We want to feel that inertia. We want to feel that wind. And ego has nothing to do with any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We could put that that whole statement could go on a t-shirt.
Some people have egos, and I don't get it. I look in the mirror every day. I'm like, I ain't got no fucking ego. I mean, I grew a handlebar mustache as a joke, and then it's like, hey, I kind of like it. It's kinda cool. Not cool in the sense anyone will be impressed, but cool because it kind of makes me smile. So, every little bit helps.
I'm swinging back around to Queers on Gears for 1 second here. I'm pretty sure that's how we connected online. And
kind of, I mean, I don't know exactly how I first started seeing Salty on Instagram, but to some point I was kind of also looking for motorcycle podcasts, and I found a few and I tried them out, and I wasn't really vibing with them. Eventually, I don't know which was first, Instagram or Spotify told me about Salty, and I checked it out. I'm like, I could relate to these fun people who
also call out the egos of all the other riders out there.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
And
always
it's like, I really, I have to admit, every time I hear when one of you says, you know what fucking sucks, I kind of wait for a second. It's like, what fucking sucks today?
There's always something. So
But
yeah.
Queers on Gears. It's a cool kind of queer writing group. It's a small group here in Portland.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
would
ask
say
about that.
it is, and it's just that because of the weather up here, it's the only good time to ride is late spring, summer, and fall, and like sometime in fall. And then after that, we kind of go in hibernation. Like we try to use this app called Slack to keep in touch.
oh yeah.
And I don't want to I don't want to shit talk or anything, but we all kind of been silent, and I think that's because we kind of all been doing our other things like friends and family and life, and I don't know. I think this year though is going to be better. We're gonna I think I'm gonna poke the bear, so to speak, and I might be the only bear there, but I'm I'm gonna do some poking like hey, let's go get coffee in
Yeah.
Mhm.
3 towns over.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like, let's
Yeah.
not go across town. Let's go into another zip code. Let's
Yeah.
go across state line. Let's go. Like, let's do it.
What would be the closest other Queers on Gears group to you?
That I know of
Yeah,
in LA.
I was like, would they be in California?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But the founder of LA has come up here a couple of times, I believe.
I won't lie, like I don't know what the distance is there for that, but
It's okay. There's an event going on later this year that's unrelated. It's in San Diego, and I looked at the map last night to check it out, and it's a 15-hour, 16-hour ride from
right.
Portland down to San Diego. And so if they're in LA, which is even further south, I think,
Right.
we're talking about if you just straight shot stayed on the road the entire time, it would literally take all day.
Yeah.
With my ride to San Jose, before I did it, I asked a lot of questions because it was my first long distance ride. Like just to San Jose, which is only like 660 miles away from Portland, it's a 12-hour ride, but I split it up into like 6-hour, slots. Like I would break it up.
Yeah.
So to ride from here to LA, I can't imagine how many days. I would say it would take just under a week for me.
And would you be like sticking to like coastal roads, or are you thinking like interstate?
If it was me, and if I actually did it, I would probably do a mix of the two. One for a little bit of efficiency, but also I would want to mix in some touristy shit too.
Yeah.
Because you got to take pictures, and sometimes you get a moment to pass something that you may not ever see again. Like last year when I went to go see my brother in San Jose, I went down on the 5, which is just a basic no nonsense highway. But in Northern California, it is pretty nice because it's both. This was in October, and going through Oregon in October was a bitch. It was cold. It was drizzly. It was windy. It was a bitch. But you get into Northern California, it's like suddenly the clock went back to spring, and it was warm and partly cloudy, and there was tall spruce trees. So it just smelled good. It felt good. Oh, it was amazing. I came back up on the 101 for a little bit just to say I crossed the Golden Gate Bridge. That was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a big bridge. One of my longest memories I've had was when I was back in the 90s when my family took a road trip to California in a car. And one of the things I always wanted to come back to was the Painted Desert. I want to say it's in New Mexico. And it's wild to see a desert that has multiple shades of color in it. It's really cool. Now, granted, I've got an uncle and some cousins that live in Arizona. And Arizona, geographically, it's a beautiful state. Like the southern part, it's like all desert. but on the northern part, there's mountains and forests. So geographically, Arizona's really cool. People wise, I'm not sure if I would really get along with so much. For reasons I think that are obvious. Big MAGA crowd there. Can't say I'd really feel real cool there.
Wow.
No.
I'm always amazed like how that varies state to state. Like we only have what, 10 provinces here?
Oh.
Is that true?
And territories.
And territories. So like there's not a whole lot of variance between them. And from what I hear in the States, like it could be two adjacent states like really close together that just like the people do not jive.
Yeah, that's Oklahoma and Texas in a way.
Really?
Yeah. Oklahoma and Texas, they got a big rivalry. But you know what it's based on?
What?
Football.
Oh, fuck off.
How stupid is that, right? Their big rivalry is football, which, you know, in the long run, that's kind of that's fine. That's healthy. It's a sport. That's competition. That's good. But no, both sides like talk shit about each other all the time. But it's like, oh, Oklahoma's best, or you know, OSU or Texas, like, oh, Texas Tech, oh, we're best. And it's just like, dude, it's a fucking sport. It's a sport.
It's like when we talked about motorcyclists taking shit too seriously. Like, yeah, you can't take anything seriously.
In many areas of the South, I will tell you right now, football or baseball to a lesser degree is like a religion to them down there. Like in many towns, like the center of their culture is football or to a lesser degree baseball. No, but it really is. It really is. It's like if you don't support your home team, it's like, why the fuck are you even here? It's like weird. It's weird.
So whenever we travel to the States, I'm worried about things like guns and getting hate crimed. But now I have to worry about people like bringing up sports with me.
It's almost like a gang thing. It's like, oh, you're wearing the wrong colors. It's like if you go into a state wearing the wrong sports jersey, like you'll get dirty looks.
That's what I mean. Like I'm just dumb Canadian just walking in here like, you know, everyone's so friendly and be like, yeah, I'm not wearing the right color in the right state, or like you don't stop on this highway.
Right.
Like unless you are doing blah 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 blah. Like I just don't know that shit, man.
Portland's got you got the one moto show there?
Yeah, it's coming up next month. Yeah.
I'm getting the emails for it. Do you go?
Yeah. I went last year. It was my first time and it blew my mind.
No way.
It literally it was my first motorcycle show to go to. They had like over 100 distinct bikes there.
Cool.
Like over 100 different types. Sport bikes, tracker bikes, choppers, hogs, everything you can imagine. It was there. And they also had bands playing there. Oh, it was a good time. And they had stunt shows, and they had like this other stunt group. It's like called the Koshat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's like this like old timey kind of British type Canadian, I don't know, kind of stunt group where they like, you know how back in the day they used to do like a pyramid stand on snow skis, or not snow skis,
like
water skis.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do that on motorcycles.
What?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah. They'll stack 3 high on 4 bikes.
Whoa.
And you're saying these are our people, Canadians?
I don't know if they're Canadian. They're called the coal shacks, so I don't know where they come from. But they all wear matching uniforms, and it's men and women and probably everything in between. I don't know. But they were like do like coordinated, choreographed bikes where like they were like right in a straight line, but like weave in and out of each other, and like they'll have like people standing on their heads on the rider's shoulders. It is so cool.
But what kind of bikes are they on?
Like old Harleys.
Okay.
Like old old bikes, like from the 50s or
Sweet.
something.
Huh.
So it's like just a slow stunt show, and it's just like that's cool. That's really cool.
And the one motor
And
show
also, yeah,
that's put on by, is that the CC guys that do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, the CC guys, yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's just a fun time. It's like they will take people off the street, and if your bike is cool enough, they'll let you have your bike in the one show. You don't have to be like a famous person or from a famous shop or anything like that. Like if you sign up to have your bike in, then they'll review what you're going to put into the thing. And if it's cool, they'll put it in. And you could just be some dude building in his garage and you can have your bike in the show. It's really cool.
That's rad.
Yeah, our friend Paterka's bike was in a few years ago. And from what I understand, she was approached to put this bike in.
Yeah, Winston's special.
This is a very weird looking
Yeah.
bike. But anyway,
To be honest, if I saw Winston, like her bike Winston on the road, I don't even know if I'd want to approach whoever was riding that bike.
I feel like brown and like brown leather is like your style. You're into that.
Yeah.
You're really into the brown leather.
Yeah, because I come from Oklahoma, and there's a big kind of a cowboy mentality in Oklahoma. And I never had a horse. I rode a horse one time in elementary school. I think it was like 5th grade or something. And because a friend of mine, his family had horses, and it was like a show and tell thing. So they were like, "Hey, let's let all the kids get on a horse." And ever since then, it's like, I don't know, maybe that just tied into my fascination of being on something that was wild. And this could hurt you, but it could be a lot of fun too.
Yeah. And you were like, when I grow up, I'm going to get a horse, but it's going to be made of metal and I'm going to dress it in brown.
Like a horse.
Like a horse.
That's kind of what it's turned into. Not just above that photo of the bike with a horse saddle on it, you'll see the photo of my leather chaps that I got.
Oh, I know about these. Yeah.
Yeah, I love these chaps. The funny thing is, before I got chaps, like, I won't be like the corny regular biker with chaps. Oh, I'm a biker, I got chaps. But I saw these chaps, and they've got leather tassels.
I was like, aren't they like full fringe?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
fuck yeah.
they're brown suede with like a full fringe.
That's got some Dennis Hopper vibes.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is old cowhide.
Okay.
Literal cowhide. And man, they're nice. I saw them on like eBay for like $75, and I'm like, I gotta get these.
Shit.
That's cheap.
They are.
Holy shit.
There's this local queer-owned coffee shop called Hinterland,
Yeah.
and they do a yearly calendar thing, right? And Hinterland, it's just a really cool spot. And they were calling out for models to do their calendar thing for this year. They called out late last year to do the calendar this year. And I'm like, oh, shit, I can't be in that calendar. But I thought, yo, I can put in this my chaps into it. And they did it. And I got to say, the model they chose to put these chaps on is so much. I mean, she rocked these chaps. She really did. Anyway, but no, yeah, leather chaps and the cowboy theme. I love it because, I don't want to use basic terms like, oh, it's about freedom and wild and free. But
come on now, it's about wild and free.
Growing up where I did in Oklahoma, I grew up in a Southern Baptist family, and it was, in retrospect, it was a repressed upbringing. But it's like my mom is a saint. I love my mom so much. I really do. And I was scared as hell to tell her, I'm into dudes and into chicks.
Yeah.
Uh, and that was something I didn't discover until my I didn't accept, I didn't admit, because quite frankly, there was a lot of signs throughout my life that I wasn't just a heteronormative dude. It's like in that Baptist upbringing, it was like I lived a lot of my life like hating myself, and I had a lot of not stress, but I'm always like unsatisfied for so many years, and I never understood why. And it was because it was like a subconscious repression. It was basically an emotional um, constipation. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Yeah.
I was emotionally constipated for 35 years of my life. And goddamn,
I feel
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you feel
I,
that? Feel
can,
that in your
I
core?
can identify pretty hard with that.
like once I accepted it, because I had made some gay friends, and for a while it was like, okay, well that's their life, but this is my life, and it they're just living their life. But once I had this experience with this young man that gave me the look, it's like I finally felt butterflies in my stomach when a young man looked at me, and it's like, uh-oh, uh-oh, what is this? And fast forward getting into the biker life where it's all macho and heteronormative shit. That's why I went to Queers on Gears, because I wanted to be with queer people and ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
But getting into the other uh, um, motorcycle community, which there's a shop here in Portland called Legion Motorcycle Co. When I was already queer when I first got my bike. I was already queer when I first started bringing my bike, but I wasn't completely outspoken about my queerness because I wasn't sure who was coming to the shop, who
Mm-hmm.
was hanging out at the shop. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but once I got comfortable and got to know these people, none of the none of the owners are queer, none of the official employees are queer, but they're very honest when they say we do not stand for bigotry and we do not stand for racism.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, if you want to have a fight with someone, take it around the block,
Mm-hmm.
because Legion Motoco is like the Sweden. This is a neutral ground. There's no beef here. You guys want to have a fight? Take it around the block. Take it down the road. Do not bring it here. And like dropping the homophobic F bombs or saying, misogynistic shit. It is not tolerated. And once I understood that, then I felt a lot more comfortable. They don't advertise being a queer friendly shop, but it's like, in a way, I'm kind of glad they don't,
Yeah.
because they're not advertising it to get, as the kids say, clout in the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, don't be an asshole.
Basically, they're not performing.
Yeah.
They're not performative. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's a two-part question.
Yes.
When you were like already out to yourself as queer and you were looking at getting into biking again, was there any like apprehension knowing like how like homophobic and misogynistic the community can be, or did you find that that the community, like the I guess say straight biker community, lived up to your expectations or fears?
I would say it did not live up to my fears yet. I say yet because I've only been in this scene for 2 years as an adult. So here's the thing about Oregon, right? Oregon is a red state. I mean, and what I mean by red state, I mean conservative. Oregon is a conservative state, except for Portland, Oregon, and for Bend. Those are like the quote unquote liberal cities. But because of population density, those two areas hold the most political power. But you get out into the country, and it's like any other southern country any other state in this country. So when I would go with friends, go riding out of town, going into the country, and yeah, there's wine country, so you would think it would be like some bougie rich neighborhoods, but you'll still come by some fucking Trump flags, and out there in the country, you do have to kind of look over your shoulder and be aware of where you are. Like on my jacket, I don't have I don't belong to any motorcycle club, so I don't have like an official biker vest, but I have my jacket that I put on there what I feel like expresses my mentality and what I value. And one of the patches I put on my bike is angry old queer. And when I saw that patch, I'm like, yes, yes, because I'm 42 this year. I'm middle aged. I'm getting old, and I got that patch on my jacket because I wanted to spit in the face of traditional motorcycle mentality, of machismo and heteronormative mentality. And it's like, just because I'm on a bike doesn't mean, and I'm queer, doesn't mean I'm weak. It doesn't mean I'm mentally weak. It doesn't mean I'm physically weak. I'm out of shape. God damn, I am out of shape. But I'm also I'm getting old. I'm angry, and I'm a queer, and I'm not afraid to admit that. And because essentially the reason why I put it on there is because I wanted to get ahead of anyone kind of insulting me. Because I want to ruin their joke before they give it. Because I admit who I am, and I'm not afraid to admit who I am.
Yeah, like you're in front of them on purpose. You're there with a purpose.
Yeah.
You're not there by accident.
And I don't have any desire to I don't want to yuck anyone's yum by flying pride flags. Express yourself how you need to express yourself, how you want to. Be out, be proud, be confident in who you are. But, I come from Oklahoma, and we're just not, I don't know, we're just not like loud people. We ramble, but we're not always like, we come from kind of a subdued, kind of quiet people.
Like modest.
We just talk a lot.
Well, with that said,
what else I would like to add, like in our previous conversation, and I want to say this in the spirit of encouragement to anyone else who's out there listening. I left Oklahoma because I was suicidal, because I felt so much regret for my failures in life. But I took a chance and I moved out west because I wanted to see something I've never seen. I wanted to be someplace I've never been. And eventually I found some cool people. And eventually I got on a bike, and I get to enjoy that now because, yeah, we're all going to die someday. But while we're still here, we can still do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? Why wait? Go do that cool shit. Go for broke. Fuck your credit rating. Go get that loan. Go get that bike. Go see that desert. Go see that mountain. Go. Because once you're dead, you don't get to come back. You don't get a redo. So go on that adventure. Go tell that person you love them, and go on that date. Go fucking do the thing. And that's essentially been my anti-suicide mentality now, is just go do the thing.
So you know what fucking sucks?
What fucking sucks?
Now that it's springtime and everyone's relisting their motorcycles on Marketplace and Kijiji and all those places, they're trying to sell like really like legit cool bikes and also like completely shit bikes for way too much money. Like the asking price is fucked. And then also, second part, all of their descriptions are lies.
Yeah, like not inspected this year. Shouldn't need anything.
Yeah, ran 5 years ago when I parked it.
Yeah.
Or like I saw a Yamaha, like one of those. I think is this the one that you were going to test drive that time, and it was like a 1700 cc or something.
It was a Kawasaki.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. I found like I found.
Okay, great.
Okay,
great.
not that. I found like I swear it was a 1500 cc Yamaha, but it was like an older bike. Like it was at least 20 years old. And it was
Really?
like, bought a bigger bike, so I'm selling this. And then like the price
God.
the price just was not right. Like it was just
Yeah.
like, hey dude, like what really is going on with that bike?
Like not really like super cheap.
Like it was cheaper than it should have been. Oh, I got a bigger bike. Like how big, dude?
Yeah.
Like also, yeah, so because
Like reason for selling, like if I get a bigger bike, if that's your reason for selling, that already says a lot about you.
Yeah.
But if your bike is fucking enormous and the reason for selling is I need a bigger bike and this bike is like super cheap, like yeah, that's something fishy there.
Actually, you know what fucking sucks? That guy.
That guy. Yeah.
So I've been like notoriously on these things looking at listings for like dirt bikes, mini bikes, like little bikes, right?
Yeah.
And I even found like one listing had a bunch of like Honda CT70s and like variations of it.
Yeah.
And they're all like 70s, like actually early 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
And they were listed for like $5,000. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're just doing that thing where you're just like, this is a very precious, special thing. And it's like, okay, but does it run like new? Because it looks
Yeah.
like it's actually dented.
It's like a decade ago, whenever you'd buy something on eBay versus buying that exact same thing on Etsy.
Yeah.
It's like hundreds of dollars in the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. And
Anyway.
the CTs, they're super cool now.
I know
just
they're
like the old
super cool.
Honda CBs and shit.
But the thing is, like, because I'm talking about the Honda Trail a lot in my free time, and it's got that old retro vibe, and it is like an off-road kind of scootery bike.
Yeah.
It looks just like the old ones, right? I can get that thing brand new for like $6,000. Brand new, and it looks vintage. It's like,
Yeah.
I'd rather buy the brand new one than pay the same amount or more for all the gremlins that you have ingested into it.
Yeah. People
Ingested.
Injected. It's gremlin injected.
Gremlin inject.
People want like the original though, so they can like have that sort of fucking cred. But
Yeah, it'd be cool.
But that's fine. But like they don't want to put in the work to something vintage. They want the
Right.
cred of something vintage without putting in the work. Like I have this amp next to us here.
Yeah.
It's like a 1968 tube amp.
Yeah.
Super retro, super cool. Like it's very authentic.
Yeah.
It's got a good sound.
Yeah.
But like it's a fucking pain in the ass, dude. Like the thing breaks all the time. It hums like shit. Like it didn't have a built-in ground because it was the fucking 60s. Like
Right.
like you can buy that same ish amp new for about the same price as this one goes for
Yeah.
without the problems.
Right. I mean, we're not getting into a fucking sucks about like the debate of vintage versus new.
I just
Because-
hijacked this sucks.
But I think like I think honestly we both like vintage, right?
Yeah.
Like in all those ways. But like I don't like a new price tag on a vintage thing.
Yeah.
I hate that.
No. If it's old, it should cost old.
Yeah, it's not like still in the box. Like it's like used and dropped and abused. And you know what? I bet you it doesn't work. Like I bet you $5 it doesn't even work and someone's just trying to make a buck. Just like that Yamaha dude is trying to make a buck off his like huge bike that he had to get a bigger one and like it just sucks.
Yeah, and something that old, it needs like a couple little things, but it needs like a couple hundred little things.
There was
All teeny tiny little problems.
And then there's like one listing that stands out about them all. One, it's a Virago. So I'm like, must read description. And it's like a Virago and it's like, comes with the original handlebars, comes with the original this and that and the other thing. And the price tag's like, it's an 85 also. And they're like, the price tag was like $900. And it comes with all the original shit too. And I was like, that's suspiciously low. Then I looked at who listed it and we
Yeah.
bought multiple bikes
bikes.
and parts off this guy. And he's the only guy who's like wheeling and dealing bikes and actually selling bikes that work with all the bells and whistles already on them.
Yeah.
All the original parts for like the price tag you should pay for a bike.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's
I'm
weird.
not gonna say his name, but like if you know, you know. If you're local, you know.
Yeah. You've been to this yard before.
Yeah, for sure.
I've ridden many bikes out this person's
This
driveway.
guy even bought a car off us once.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
this guy. Anyway, but that's the only legit like listing on all like Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, all these things. It was like there's one listing that stands out as like kind of suspicious because the price tag made sense. It's like if I'm gonna buy an old '80s Virago, which you know is full of gremlins, I want to pay $900, and I want all the extra parts.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the breakdown. Okay.
What?
If you are buying a motorcycle right now from the 1980s or 1970s, and it's a Japanese-made bike,
Yep.
you're paying between $1,200 and $1,500 tops.
That's what I. Yeah.
That's
what
what
I
it's,
want to pay.
That's what it's worth.
Yeah,
if you're paying any more than that, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
If you're buying something from the 90s, it's probably going to be like 2,000, 2,500.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything like 2000s and up, probably still 2,500 unless it's a Sportster.
Yeah. Which I still only think should be 5,000.
$5,000 for a Sportster. Any more than that, and you're a loser.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's a piece of shit.
Well, can't you buy a brand new Sportster for like 10? Basically
Probably.
11 or something like that?
Yeah.
Like brand new without all the extra things?
Yep.
I'm not going to buy a 20-year-old like goofed out sporty for $5,000. Like no.
Yeah.
No.
But that's the thing. Like a Sportster, like whether it's all fucking douched out or it's stock, whether it's from the fucking 1970s or it's 2007,
Yeah.
it's $5,000.
Yeah.
Like that's the price of a Sportster.
Anyway, people are selling 80s bikes right now for like $4,000. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a fucking 500 Kawasaki piece of shit dork bike.
Yeah.
Like no one's paying $5,000 for that.
Yeah, it's remember, like, I know this is like extending the sucks or whatever, but you know, like in the 90s, whenever you think about like 1960s music and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, like it has like this really awesome authentic feel, and then the 80s, from a 90s perspective, the 80s was like so fucking shit.
Yeah.
And now people are trying to make the 80s like as cool as the 60s were,
Right.
but it's like, dude, no. Like no.
We need more time for
Yeah,
the
we
80s
need a
people.
lot more time for that to happen. The 80s were just that. They were
Yeah.
the fucking 80s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like they were not the 60s. So if your bike is from the 60s, 70s, yeah, that's cool, dude. But just because it's a little bit older now, your 80s bike is still a fucking 80s bike, man. Like that ship has sailed.
I was really nervous. I was.
We should have mentioned
Really
we're
nervous.
pretty informal.
And
So
then you found out that we were just plain.
No, no, I knew that, but it's like, I just saw a price tag I could afford, and I saw a motorcycle. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna get my motorcycle. What? I can't remember the name. I had a couple of too many shots this morning. What are the name of those dreams where you have control of your dreams?
Lucid?
Yeah, those things. And you know, you're breaking up,
Oh,
breaking up,
shit.
breaking up.
okay.
You break.
Still breaking?
I caught the first half of the. I heard the first question.
Ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding.
You could start a thing. Why not? It's merch. It's merch, baby. It's marketing. No, actually, you mentioned cat, and I was about to mention how I had a joke ready about like I was going to talk about my cat. I'm not very comfortable talking to strangers or opening up and shit. So that's why, yeah, I took a couple of shots before I got on this call. What is it called whenever you're just like angry all the time? And I love this cat so much.
Your mic's turned off.
God damn it.
God damn.
God damn it.
You know what fucking sucks? When you have your mic turned off.
Yeah, the goths. The goths are everywhere. Yeah. They used to have a Kid Rock song as their intro. I'm like,
Wow.
I know I could skip past this, but this speaks to the mentality of this podcast. And I'm just like, I'm not into it. No.
No.
And I had seen all these stories about how, garage finds, or you can buy a cheap motorcycle and replace the battery and you can ride away with it.
Yeah.
Like, and I got this Kawasaki and for $600 and I brought it to the shop. And they said, no, man, no, it ain't gonna work. I'm like, what? Honestly, I love this little cat. If there was a goth state, it would either be Washington or New York.
No.
I mean, how many episodes have you guys done?
You just introduced it.
Right, but how many episodes? I'm not looking at your Spotify history. I don't know how many episodes you guys have done.
70.
Look at how.
This is episode 70.
Okay, there's only 12 months in a year, though. Drinking whiskey on a Sunday morning, talking to some cool people from Canada. That's not. I wouldn't have been doing this 10 years ago in Oklahoma. Massachusetts.
Yes. Yeah, but you know what fucking sucks? Skidoos.
Skadoodle on out of here.
Skidoos and sea-doos and like land doos?
Skidoo, you better don't.
Like, what would it be, a road do? What would they call it?
Road do?
There's sea-doo, snow-do, like what?
I think it's called a tire do.
Tire do.
Like Bruce, this is like Bruce's show and tell show.
I feel like it is. Oh no. I'm unprepared though.
And you just put $6,000 in.
I did. Like, the running joke of my life right now is I could be debt free if it wasn't for motorcycles.